Greetings, YouTube. I hope that you will indulge me. Today is going to be a bit of a personal vlog. As some people know, I have been purchasing an apartment building, or my wife and I have. The goal is that my wife and I would live on the second floor apartment, and my mother-in-law would live on the first floor apartment. She has some minor mobility issues and would be much better off on a single floor apartment on the first floor. I haven't spoken about this pursuit a great deal lately, but it has still been going on. For the past month, my wife and I have had a building under contract, and we have been trying to hammer out the details so that we could purchase it. We found the building, we took an initial tour of it, we made the decision to put a bid on it. We did so, where there was a counter bid. We came back with another bid. They accepted our second bid. We then hired we put it on a deposit. We hired a building inspector. For those outside of the United States, building inspectors are the norm. In fact, if you try to purchase a home without a building inspector looking at it first, you have to sign a waiver saying that you knowingly are purchasing a building without having it inspected. So building inspections are considered the norm here. So we hired a building inspector, and we went over the building with this guy. It took about 2 hours, and he went over it with a fine-tooth comb and found all of the different things he could find about it that were wrong. And there were a few minor issues with the home. One of them in particular, there was a leaking sink on the first floor apartment, which is an occupied space. And I can't fathom why the guy living there didn't fix it. I mean, literally, it was a fix that I could have probably done in about 15 minutes. 20 tops. Giving me the parts, I could have fixed it while I was having the tour. So I don't know why this guy didn't fix it, and rather than brushing his teeth in the kitchen sink. But some people have different levels of comfort when it comes to fixing things, I guess. But there was one major issue in the building, and that was the roof. The roof did not leak, but it's on its last leg. So we told them, we said, you need to fix the roof. And the people who own the building at the moment, the sellers, were completely aware that the roof needed repair, because during our inspection we found a stack of unused shingles in the basement. Brand new, still in their packaging. They were completely aware of the fact that this building needed a roof repair, if not a replacement. So we contacted a roofing guy, and the roofing guy did a quick from the ground tour of the place and gave us an estimate, and the estimate is far higher than we can afford. The homeowners are not willing to pay for it themselves. They were willing to roll part of the cost of the building back to us to cover the cost of the roof, but it's not enough. They were willing to roll $2,000 towards the roof, and the roof repair is probably going to cost something along the lines of $12,000. We could get very lucky, and it might only cost $8,000. But regardless, that is not something that we could handle. It is the opinion of the roofing guy is that the building probably has multiple layers, of shingles, which is illegal today, but wasn't when the building was made in an intervening period. The building in question was 104 years old, so it's not a new building, but it had great bones. It was sound. The basement was in absolutely pristine condition. It was watertight, dry. It was in awesome shape. I was really impressed by that. I mean, it looked like it had been poured yesterday. It was in that nice condition. That's what really convinced me that I need to, put a bid on this house, and I wish I had gotten it. So the homeowners are now stuck with an apartment building that has a publicly known roofing problem, because the building inspection report is filed with the state, so now they have to disclose this to everybody else. And they are stuck with the fact that the second floor unit is empty. That's where I would have moved into. And the first floor unit has a tenant who's leaving in September, which means they're in a bad shape. If they want to sell that building, do they put more people in there to make money to cover the mortgage, or do they leave it empty and hope they can sell it in a short period of time. I personally think that they would have been better off selling the house to me and fixing the roof and selling it to me, because that's some money as opposed to no money. But I'm not in their position. So I'm more than significantly disappointed. This has been the single most stressful thing that I have ever lived through. Worse than the apartment fire that I survived 10 years ago. This is the second most important decision I ever made after being married to my wife. It is the most expensive decision I have ever made. It is a full 30-year commitment. So yeah, this has been an incredibly stressful situation. And now I know that in 3 or 6 or 9 weeks, or however long it takes us to find another property, we get to go through it all over again. I'm not really looking forward to that. This property was in an awesome location. It was across the street from a cemetery, so I never had to worry about development. It's 8 minutes from my bit where I work. I couldn't ask for more. But the seller doesn't want to sell all that genuinely, in my opinion, so he loses, I lose. Just a day where nobody wins.